Please welcome to the stage our Master of Ceremonies, Gilda Bonanno.
Good morning, good morning. Give you a moment to get those seats. I know we turned the lights off on you, so you can't find your seats. There we go. Good morning, welcome, welcome. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to the Women's Business Development Council's Women Rising Gala. We are celebrating WBDC's 28th year in business, working with women entrepreneurs to help launch and scale their businesses. 28 years deserves a round of applause, don't you think? This is one of our largest events ever, as you know if you tried to find parking, with almost 700 people registered. So a big WBDC welcome to each and every one of you who made the time to celebrate with us today. I'm Gilda Bonanno, and I'm excited to be your MC. I'm the owner of a speaking, training, and coaching business that specializes in helping executives and entrepreneurs elevate their communication, presentation, and leadership skills. And today, we're here to celebrate entrepreneurial women, our accomplishments and our economic impact on the state, our country, and our world. Your support helps to make that economic impact a reality. Speaking of your support, I hope you've had a chance to see our fabulous raffle items. Tickets are only $25 each. The raffle will be open until 1:15 p.m. So please purchase tickets before then using the raffle QR code that you'll find on the table tent cards on your tables. I won't be insulted if you go to your phones right now to purchase your tickets. We have awesome experiences, including a coastal vacation home, airline tickets, spa packages, Yankees tickets, and more. And we'll announce the raffle winners at the end of the luncheon. If you haven't already done so, now would be a great time to connect to the Gala internet. So we have a special Wi-Fi for this room. The Wi-Fi network is WBDC25, and the password is Gala 2025. And you'll also find that on the tent cards on your table. So today we have an exciting program during which you'll hear about WBDC's work over the past 28 years to provide women with the entrepreneurial education and business advising they need to launch and expand profitable businesses. You'll meet some of our fantastic clients who have grown their businesses with help from WBDC. And we are so pleased to recognize our outstanding community service honoree and to honor 4 amazing business leaders with the WBDC Impact Award. And you're going to hear from all of them today. We'd also like to recognize today's honorary gala co-chairs, the Honorable Susan Bisowitz and Annie Lamont. Yeah, they deserve a round of applause, absolutely. As well as thanking our dedicated gala vice chairs, Leander Dolphin, Jeffrey Flax, Stacy Kennedy, and Jean Swift. Thank you all for lending your names and for your support. A special shout out to our entire board of directors who have actively participated in the success of this event, and a special thanks to our gala chair, Amanda Castellano. Thank you all. Yes, yay Amanda and the team. And we want to acknowledge all of our generous sponsors and our host committee members for their support of WBDC and this event. In particular, I'd like to recognize our lead sponsors by name, and I ask that you hold your applause to the end. A very special thanks to our title sponsor, Havas, our impact sponsors, JP Morgan Chase, MasterCard, PMI, our investor sponsors, DR Bank, Genry, Hartford Healthcare, Shipman and Goodwin, Webster Bank, and West Fair Business Journal, and all of our Capital and Aspire sponsors. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. You can see the complete list of sponsors and host committee members in your program. I'd also like to acknowledge the federal, state, and local leaders who are in attendance today for their support of women's entrepreneurship in Connecticut and their recognition of WBDC as the leader in entrepreneurial training. You can read their names on the screen, and let's give them a round of applause, thanking them for their support. Lastly, we'd love to see your photos and posts from today's gala on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at CTWBDC, and on LinkedIn at the Women's Business Development Council. Use the hashtag WBDCGala25. And now let's turn our attention to the video screens to see highlights of our Women Rising awardees. You'll see videos about them throughout today, and we'll bring them on stage near the end of the program. Let's take a look.
Working with the WBDC for me just felt like I had a whole team of people who are immediately on my side. It was a group of people I didn't know I needed until I needed them, and then they were there, and it's been great ever since.
Working with WBDC has been a very rewarding experience. They provided me with an expansion grant. Going from family child care to the center realm was a bit intimidating, but with the guidance I received from WBDC, it made a world of difference.
One of the things I'm most proud of about my involvement with Women's Business Development Council is being a part of a greater network of women entrepreneurs who have put everything on the line to make a difference for their family and for themselves.
Most importantly, the WBDC has really given me confidence in myself as a woman to lead. This belief that I really can do anything, I can grow my business any way that I choose.
The advice that I would give women just starting on their entrepreneurial journey is to reach out to the WBDC.
They are so supportive, and I don't know where I would be without the WBDC.
All right. And you're going to get a chance to see them on stage near the end of the program, and you'll see videos about them throughout today's event. And now, please welcome to the stage the CEO of WBDC, Fran Pastore.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today as we come together to celebrate these remarkable women entrepreneurs of Connecticut. Today, we are here to honor women who are making positive change for themselves, their families, and their communities. At a time when our world feels so uncertain, so polarized, when division among friends, families, and colleagues can feel overwhelming, today is something different. Supporting locally owned and operated small businesses is something we can all get behind, isn't it? These women-owned businesses are creating jobs for themselves and others, building assets, creating wealth for generations to come, all while contributing to the economic vitality of our great state, our country, and the world. They are the backbone of a global economy. If there's one word that has carried WBDC through 2025, it's resilience. It's been our mantra, and it's the spirit that has guided us through a year unlike any other. Many of you might know that in the very early morning hours of March 7th, a fire destroyed the building that housed WBDC's Stamford headquarters. Our office was destroyed, our staff was displaced, and yet, thanks to a supportive community, a strong infrastructure, we never missed a beat. We continued serving our clients without interruption. What made those weeks especially difficult was the timing. Just a few days before the fire, we learned that the federal funding that had seeded this organization nearly 30 years ago was frozen. And shortly thereafter the fire, we were told that those funds were entirely eliminated. To face both of those blows at once was daunting for me. It really knocked the wind out of me. But what carried me through was my unrelenting and amazing colleagues. I'll ask them all to rise right now, the entire staff of WBDC. This incredible team helped get me through it and one another through it. And knowing that our work could not stop, it really kept me going during those dark days. Women across the state were depending on us. For nearly 3 decades, WBDC has helped women across Connecticut launch, scale, and strengthen their businesses. We've seen firsthand how women's entrepreneurship is transforming our economy, and yet not everyone sees it that way. I read an article or an editorial on October 1st in the New York Times entitled, "American Women Are Leaving the Workforce. Why?" It painted too bleak a picture of women's economic role in America today. It pointed to federal policy changes, the elimination of women-specific programs, including the very program that funded WBDC, and diminishing the visibility of women in official government language across every federal agency, limiting the influence of women in some of the most critical industries. Think healthcare, technology, science, the arts. But that should not be mistaken for the disappearance of women's participation in our economy, when the exact opposite is true. Women's entrepreneurship is surging and the evidence is overwhelming. Women now start nearly half of all new businesses in the United States, up from just 29% in 2019. And between 2019 and 2024, women-owned firms grew by nearly 14%. They employ 11 million people and generate over $2.1 trillion in revenue. Here in Connecticut, the same holds true. We have seen extraordinary growth, a 350% increase in the number of women seeking assistance to launch or scale their businesses. These aren't abstract numbers. They represent real women building stronger families, stronger communities, and a stronger economy. Please take a minute to read the data in your program because the numbers are real. And while that editorial questioned women's visibility in the economy, it overlooked one thing. Symbolic visibility is not the same as real economic power. Fewer federal programs or pronouncements do not mean fewer women participating in the economy. To the contrary, women are not waiting for recognition. They are claiming space, creating wealth, and reshaping industries. Of course, barriers remain. Women still face gaps in accessing capital, help with childcare, representation in growth sectors, in high growth sectors, but suggesting that women are losing ground ignores what's happening right here in Connecticut. Our governor, our legislative leaders, many of whom are with us today and have supported this work for decades, along with other nonprofits, private investors, they're stepping up. Connecticut is showing the nation what progress looks like through grants, business training, investments in childcare, and policies that put resources directly into the hands of women entrepreneurs. These investments are working, and we have the data to prove it. Just look around the room. The real story, the one we're writing here together, is a story of transformation. Women may be less visible in outdated federal rubrics, but they are increasingly influential in new economic ecosystems. They are rewriting the rules of work and redefining what success looks like. What we need now is not nostalgia for the old frameworks, but investment in new ones. Access to capital, affordable childcare, mentorship, and the infrastructure that helps women scale. And once again, Connecticut is leading the way. From investing in women-owned businesses and paid leave to passing landmark legislation that has just established an endowment fund for the childcare industry, one of the first in the nation. The movement of capital into the hands of women entrepreneurs represents an unprecedented opportunity. I think our fabulous First Lady, Annie Lamont, would agree with that. The great wealth, sure, she deserves it. In fact, the great wealth transfer, which we are about to witness, combined with women's rising earnings and entrepreneurial success, is expected to give us extraordinary financial power. 70% of the estimated $124 trillion being passed down in the United States over the next few decades is expected to go to women. And $34 trillion in financial assets is expected to be controlled by women by 2030. That's a substantial increase from just a decade prior. So ignoring women's economic power isn't just short-sighted, it's bad business strategy. Economies grow when both men and women are fully engaged and prospering. To discount women's entrepreneurial energy is to leave innovation, job creation, and vitality on the table. And let me be clear. Let me be perfectly clear. No omission from the word women, from government language or programs, can change the fact that we are 51% of our population, and we give birth to 100% of the population. We are not invisible, and we never will be. So today, as we honor our Women in Rising Award recipients, our Impact Award honorees, and our Patricia Billy Miller awardee, we are reminded that women's progress is everyone's progress. The women you will meet here today are proof of what's possible when we invest in potential and when we refuse to accept outdated narratives about who drives the economy. As WBDC nears its 30th year, we celebrate not just resilience, but resurgence, because when women rise, we all rise. And resilience, well, that's our superpower. Now, let's take a moment to watch the first video featuring two of our Women Rising Award recipients. Thank you all so much.
Char House Cookie is a gluten-free microbakery and cafe. We specialize in made-from-scratch, small batch pastries and breakfast sandwiches. I started making French macarons and became enamored with people's faces when they ate them at first, and that quickly turned into having a full brick and mortar. My relationship with the WBDC began through another local vendor. They connected me with them and recommended that I seek a business coach, and then that progressed to one of WBDC's classes. I took GPS class. It allowed us to have a full business plan, be able to put some real numbers into play, have projections, and it connects you with other business owners who are in a similar place in their development that you are, so that you can begin to build your own community. Working with the WBDC for me just felt like I had a whole team of people who are immediately on my side. It was a group of people I didn't know I needed until I needed them, and then they were there, and it's been great ever since. I would highly recommend for women who are starting their entrepreneurial journey to get involved with the WBDC sooner. I really think that it's important to just trust your gut, and for lack of a better term, sometimes just send it. You have to be brave, and that's how you could end up with a Char House.
The inspiration for Ovell Coffee, my husband and I got married in Jamaica, and we took a tour of a coffee farm. Fell in love with the coffee. We brought it back to Connecticut, and everyone fell in love who we shared it with. And we started working with the Jamaican Coffee Growers Association. We supply Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, which is one of the rarest coffees on the planet. We received the WBDC's Ignite grant, and we were able to get some equipment that scaled up our operations. We got into Geisler's, which is a grocery store chain. Because of our ability to be able to move quicker and faster, we made that partnership happen, and that was all thanks to the WBDC. The advice that I would give women just starting on their entrepreneurial journey is to reach out to the WBDC. I would also say, get a business advisor. They provide that as well. And connect with the women in your community and also allies in your community, because that's gonna be what keeps you going. Your customers, your friends, your family, the people that you love, because you need something else outside of you to just keep you going.
Please welcome to the stage Connecticut's Lieutenant Governor, Susan Bysowitz.
Well, good afternoon, smart, competent, fabulous, powerful women, and amazing male allies of taste and discernment. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for coming out to support the WBDC. Let us give Fran Pastore and her team a round of applause. So the WBDC has been working hard for almost 3 decades, and they've been taking people with ideas and making those ideas into businesses, and those businesses have become employers. That is the power of the WBDC. They have assisted and supported more than 3,500 clients. 90% of those were women, 47% were people of color, and 64% were people whose median income is lower in our state. But the WBDC is uplifting on underrepresented communities and helping women in business succeed. And furthermore, the WBDC, as you've heard just a little bit about so far, has been amazing in times of natural disasters and economic downturns. Through it all, they thrive and they help our businesses and Connecticut's economy thrive. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the WBDC staff were working 14 or 16-hour days, making sure that their clients could access funding, that they could pivot their businesses to change with the changing challenges and situations. And when we needed childcare most during COVID and beyond, WBDC created a fund of more than $8 million that they distributed to almost 500 businesses, creating more than 13,000 early child care spots and more than 4,000 jobs. Let's give that initiative a round of applause. So that was during COVID, and then in August of 2024, Connecticut faced devastating rains and floods. And the WBDC again stepped up and helped hundreds of businesses and farms get back on their feet. They administered $6 million in emergency funds, and they distributed it to over 300 businesses across 37 towns. They helped those businesses rebuild after devastating challenges. And you've heard about what happened this past March. The WBDC's Stamford offices were damaged by fire in an overnight fire. Fortunately, no one was injured or hurt, but again, the WBDC stepped up and kept going and kept helping their clients throughout. And now, as we face the challenges of a government shutdown and tariffs and so many other economic problems, the WBDC is needed now more than ever. So we want to thank you for contributing and donating to this very important economic driver in the Connecticut economy, because we know that when you uplift women, you uplift families, you uplift communities, you uplift the state of Connecticut and our country. So let's make sure we continue to support them. And it is my great privilege to bring up and introduce my partner in government, the fearless leader of the state of Connecticut, Governor Ned Lamont.
Hey everybody, let me pick up where Susan left off. Whenever there's a problem, we're sitting around the governor's office, it's COVID or flooding or whatever it might be, you know we often end up saying? Where's Fran? Call Fran. I mean, as Susan said, during the worst of COVID, our businesses were just on life support. And, you know, the feds are there, but they're a little slow sometimes. And Women's Business Development Council was right there getting initial support for people. Same with the flooding, like Susan said. I mean, eventually FEMA came in, and eventually the SBA came in. We're very thankful for that. But in the meantime, we had to get immediate grants out to people so they could dig out the mud from their stores, because, you know, that flood came overnight. It was so sudden. We're working through that every day, the nature of these emergencies that are happening. And when Fran and WBDC are not saving businesses, they're starting businesses. And we have started more new businesses in the state of Connecticut the last 5 years than we have in many years beyond. I mean, in the old days, we used to try and attract big companies to come to Connecticut. I'll pay you $1 billion if you come. Now we've got more new businesses started up. As Susan said, more female-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, businesses owned by women of color, all on Main Street, hundreds of thousands of businesses. And that's bringing our towns and cities alive and people getting an opportunity. And I love some of the businesses I saw, you know, described right here as we got going forward. I saw, you know, the child care, expansion of the child care center. You know, we've got the biggest expansion of daycare and child care in the history of the state. It's absolutely vital. We have a $300 million down payment. It's going to be free of charge to all families earning up to about $100,000. Real discounts afterwards. Talk about affordability. You know, these are young families, 1 or 2 kids. Save them $10,000, $15,000 a year. What it also means in terms of allowing, you know, mom and dad to get back to work, and that's really important for the growing economy. And also giving our kids the very best head start in life. And I see one of the businesses we're celebrating today help expand daycare and child care. You know, who else do we have here? I got a list here. The coffee house. I like the coffee house. You know, everybody's looking at their phone all day long and they're getting isolated. Coffee houses are about community and what that means in terms of our towns and bringing people together. Thank you for that. We need a coffee house in more and more of our communities. Let's see what else I see. A traffic flagging service. You know, don't take that for granted. People are driving like a bat out of hell. I don't know what's going on. And people are getting hit. And we're rebuilding our roads. We're rebuilding our bridges. So thank you for that. And slow down when you see that person with the traffic flagging. That's what they're trying to ask you to do. What else? The mental health provider using healing power of art to help individuals find peace. Would you, are you over there? Helping individuals find peace. If you could set up a small branch in the legislative office building, I would be much appreciative. Let me just, you know, say seriously how important supporting this is. My wife Annie's going to be here in a few minutes, and we both come out of small business. I started up a small business. Annie has been funding small businesses. One thing you find as you go around this state and go around this country is that talent is widely distributed, but opportunity not so much. And that's what we try and do as a state, and that's what we try and do with the Fran's group right here. try and find talent, give people that very best opportunity, help them with a business plan, help them with some startup funding, help them with some networking, what we can do to help them get back on their feet. As I said before, we started, thanks to each and every one of you and your support, more new businesses in the last few years than in decades before, and we're just getting started. Thank God for the WBDC.
Please welcome to the stage Kenyatta Banks.
Hello, everyone. The Patricia Billy Miller Award for Outstanding Community Service is named in honor of State Senator Patricia Billy Miller, whose distinguished career has been marked by her unwavering dedication and uplifting others as a fierce advocate for women entrepreneurs. This award is presented annually to an individual whose dedication, leadership, and commitment inspires others to achieve entrepreneurial dreams. This year, this award is presented to Mariah Gutierrez, Deputy District Director for the U.S. Small Business Administration. I've had the pleasure of working with Mariah for about 16 years in my role at WBDC. Through her support at WBDC and Connecticut small businesses, it goes way further than that. She's a constant presence of our events and a tireless advocate on a state and federal level, ensuring that WBDC always has a seat at the table. From our very first interaction, Mariah stood out with her patience, clarity, and approachability, qualities that make her collaborating such a true joy. Years ago, when we had limited staff, I often turned to Mariah for support to help. Without hesitation, she stepped right in to support our clients, embodying the spirit of the service and partnership that defines her. Mariah has not only been a trusted colleague, but also a dear friend at WBDC. And it's comforting to know she's always there as a resource for our team and our clients. Today, the tables have turned. Mariah is usually the one presenting awards, but there's no one more deserving of this honor. It is my true privilege to present the Patricia Billy Miller Award for Outstanding Community Service to Mariah Gutierrez.
What an incredible honor it is to stand before you today, walking in the footsteps of trailblazing leaders like Senator Patricia Billy Miller. As a public servant, I am deeply humbled to receive this recognition today. This work has never been about accolades, but about the people we serve. It's about the small business owners, especially those from underserved communities, including women. It's about breaking down barriers to capital, facilitating grants, and delivering vital financial education in both English and Spanish languages across our state. The true reward is seeing the difference we make when we come together for the greater good. And there is no better example of the difference we can make than the WBDC. I've had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the remarkable growth of the Women's Business Development Council over the past 28 years. And through their efforts, they've sparked profound change for women entrepreneurs across the state. By offering entrepreneurial training, financial guidance, and unwavering support, they've empowered women to build businesses, achieve financial independence, create jobs, and perhaps most importantly, balance their entrepreneurial dreams with family responsibilities. I stand here today thanks to the foundation my parents laid for me, Gladys and Carlos, immigrants from the Dominican Republic who arrived in New York City in 1963 with nothing but hopes and dreams. That they created a space for me to thrive. And as blue-collar workers and parents of 5 children, they taught me the value of hard work, resilience, and the importance of giving back. And for them, it was always about doing better, not just for themselves, but for future generations. And as an advocate for small business owners, I see my role as one of connecting the dots. I'm here to help entrepreneurs access the resources and services that can bring their dreams to life. And this work is my passion, creating opportunities that drive prosperity, not just for individuals, but for our communities. And along the way, I've learned that true leadership isn't about titles, but about the actions we take and the impact we make. And I've been fortunate to work alongside so many incredible individuals who inspire me daily. And as I follow in the footsteps of the dynamic leaders standing here with us today, I remain committed to my passion to help Connecticut's entrepreneurs thrive and to continue doing meaningful, impactful work. Thank you all for this honor.
Let's take a look at a few more stories from this year's Women Rising Awards recipients.
Fox and Feather is the Connecticut Shoreline's only group outpatient art therapy practice. I am a survivor of childhood and adolescent sexual abuse. Art therapy and a spiritual practice truly saved my life, and I was inspired to do the same for others. My first interaction with the WBDC was the GPS course. Each week we learned a different facet of owning a business, from marketing to projections. Most importantly, the WBDC has really given me confidence in myself as a woman to lead. This belief that I really can do anything, I can grow my business any way that I choose, because I have the WBDC as a resource to reach out to when I have any questions. Advice that I would give to women just starting your entrepreneurial journey is to really take time to reflect on what your life's mission is. Start there and then reach out to the WBDC for practical skills.
Milk Street Lactation Support Center is a storefront, community-based lactation support center where we offer prenatal support, postpartum education and support, and help moms and babies through the feeding journey. We have a few exam rooms and a meeting space in the lobby where we host support groups, and then we use the exam rooms to help moms and babies with their feeding challenges. I have been a registered nurse in the field of maternal child health for my entire 30-year career. I have worked in a hospital-based setting, I've worked in a pediatric office, in a breastfeeding medicine clinic, and then finally 3 years ago got to fulfill my entrepreneurial dream to open up my own space. My relationship with the WBDC began when I was at a networking event and another female business owner told me, you need to reach out to the WBDC. They've been so helpful and such a great resource. One of the first courses I took was the GPS, which helps with learning how to write a business plan. I then was able to apply for the Launchpad and the Ignite grants about a year apart, and was lucky enough to be a recipient of those grants. They are so supportive, and I don't know where I would be without the WBDC. For women who are just beginning their entrepreneurial journey, start with the WBDC. It will give you a good foundation, and they will be there every step of the way to support you with your dreams and ambitions.
Please welcome back Gilda Bonanno.
Aren't those women amazing? Let's give them a round of applause. Wow. And thank you so much to the governor and the lieutenant governor for their remarks, and congratulations, Moraima Gutierrez. Well deserved. Thank you to everyone who has contributed to the success of today's event. The WBDC Gala is one of our largest and most important opportunities to share our accomplishments, spotlight our clients and honorees, thank supporters, and raise important programming dollars. Our overall fundraising goal for this gala is $600,000. We are close, but not quite there. So today we'd like to give everyone who hasn't yet made a donation the chance to do so, or for some of you, the chance to give again. And it's so easy to do. I'd like to ask that you now please take out your cell phones, although some of you still have them when you were buying raffle tickets, thank you. At your seat is a call to action card. This is a different card with a different QR code. Please scan it using your phone's camera and follow the instructions for payment to make a donation. Help us empower and educate women entrepreneurs throughout the state, which will enable us to create more success stories like the ones you're hearing today. No amount is too small, and we appreciate all of your support. And to sweeten the deal, we have a treat for those who participate in our call to action. All donors who complete their payment today of $100 or more through this QR code will be entered into a special drawing to win a pair of Bose noise-canceling headphones or an Aura digital frame. The two winners will be selected and announced at the conclusion of the luncheon. Will you help us meet our goal? To give you an idea of how your gifts will be used, a gift of $5,000 helps us continue to provide business owners across Connecticut with funding to start and grow their businesses. A gift of $2,500 provides dedicated one-on-one business advising to more than 25 women entrepreneurs. $1,000 supports a client's participation in a 9-week business plan course. $500 supports a regional WBDC networking event. $250 supports a client's participation in online classes, and $100 funds a business health assessment for a new client. We have almost 700 people in this room. Imagine the possibilities if everyone here made a donation of any amount. Each dollar today that we raise fuels dreams, builds confidence, and creates opportunity. But don't just take my word for it. Let's hear directly from some of the women whose journeys show the power of WBDC's work.
I never imagined myself as an entrepreneur, and WBDC courses have proved me wrong. I went from no idea about business planning to writing a business plan, obtaining capital, and running a successful business in less than a year because of their services.
They didn't just provide tools, they instilled confidence. I've grown both personally and professionally, learning how to build and sustain a business with clarity, purpose, and resilience. As a proud woman of color and a small business owner, I can say WBDC helped me move from vision to action. And for that, I'm truly grateful.
WBDC has recalibrated my confidence as a small business owner and given me a fresh boost of inspiration to expand my services and impact. Their support has been both energizing and empowering.
We so appreciate your support. Thank you for participating today, and remember, every donation of any amount has an impact. I also want to remind you that our WBDC raffle will remain open until 1:15 p.m. We have some terrific items, so please purchase tickets before that time using the raffle QR code on the table tents on your table. Raffle winners will also be announced at the conclusion of the luncheon. We're going to have a short break now for lunch, so enjoy your lunch and please keep those donations coming. Thank you and see you soon.
Please welcome back Gilda Bonanno.
Welcome back from lunch. We hope you enjoyed your lunch, and I know you're still having those conversations. Great networking time there. So hope you enjoyed that, a little chance to meet these 700 other people in the room. A reminder that while the raffle has closed, our call to action drawing will remain open until 1:35. So you got a few minutes to get that donation in to enter that drawing. So raffle and call to action winners will be announced at the conclusion of the luncheon. So now we come to the part of the program where we honor outstanding business leaders with the WBDC Impact Award. The WBDC Impact Award is presented to a business or community leader who has personally exemplified the mission and goals of WBDC to support economic equality and prosperity for women. And now to present our first Impact Award, please welcome co-founder and managing partner, Oak HCFT, and First Lady of Connecticut, Annie Lamont.
Okay, Fran, we're going to have to get a bigger room next year. We're outgrowing this. So I have backed a lot of entrepreneurs, but Fran is right up there, isn't she, in terms of having the startup, building it to what it is. Amazing. And yes, my husband is like that every day, actually. He's one of those people that wakes up every morning happy. And so he's fun. I have the pleasure, get to my real job here, I have the pleasure of introducing Donna Murphy, the global CEO of Havas Created and Havas Health Networks. It's an honor to present her with the WBDC Impact Award for her success in growing Havas into the largest health and wellness communications network in the world. She is also deeply committed to philanthropy and health equity through her work with Project Hope, a leading global health and humanitarian organization, and Homebase, a national nonprofit dedicated to healing the invisible wounds of war veterans. And what a small and connected world we live in. More than 40 years ago, Donna and Fran were classmates at Pace University and members of rival sororities. Though their paths diverged after college, they recently reconnected. When Fran shared the impactful work of WBDC and all they're doing across the state, Donna immediately stepped up to support the mission. Their renewed connection is a powerful reminder that even those with different paths, or even from rival sororities, can come together around a shared purpose. Donna and Fran's story shows how past connections can spark meaningful collaborations, because when women collaborate, great things happen. Donna's remarkable career serves as an inspiration to female executives and entrepreneurs worldwide. It is my honor to present the Impact Award to Donna Murphy.
I have a lot of good stories about Fran, if you'd like to hear them. I'll be having drinks at the end of today's luncheon, so please feel free. So, first of all, thank you so much to the First Lady and to the WBDC. I'm incredibly honored to be here today. And not only that, on behalf of Havas globally, it's quite an honor. And I'm also proud to say that 58% of our 23,000 employees globally are women, and the results speak for itself. So as the First Lady suggested, Fran and I went to college together at Pace University, and we both grew up in Brooklyn. Yes, we did. And I've lived in Connecticut for 35 years, But you'd never guess that from my accent, would you? But remember one thing, you can never take the girl out of Brooklyn. Like so many of us, I had big dreams, but I didn't always see women in the kinds of leadership roles I aspired to, certainly not in the boardrooms, nor head of a global company. The path was never clear. But what I did see, especially from the women in my life, was grit. You heard the word resilience mentioned. The power of showing up for others and doing the work. Growing up in Brooklyn, I was surrounded by strong Irish women. And the woman who had the greatest impact on me was my mother. Actually, her nickname, we used to call her Rollerhead. She was my biggest supporter and the person who made me believe that anything was possible if you worked hard, stayed grounded, and always lead with your heart. As a kid, I dreamed of becoming a nurse, not because I knew what that entailed, but because I wanted to help people the way she helped me. That early sense of purpose shared by her has been a through line in everything I've done since. Throughout my career, I believed in the power of creativity, not just in the work we produce, but in the cultures we shape. Whether it's advancing neurodiversity, mentoring the next generation, or building more inclusive teams, impact starts with how we choose to show up. So receiving this award, not just as a leader, but as a woman, is incredibly meaningful. Because we know impact is not just about results. It's about how we lead. It's about creating space, lifting others, and using your voice in ways for the better. I share this recognition with the incredible teams at Havas, with every woman I've had the privilege to work alongside of, mentor, or learn from. Their brilliance and passion are what moves us forward daily. And to the WBDC, thank you for the work you do every day to empower women. We're not just opening doors, you're helping build the rooms we deserve to be in. And finally, to my family. Finally, to my family, my husband and my two incredible children, thank you for being the best cheerleaders throughout my career, always allowing me to do what I loved. And now as a grandmother, with the second granddaughter on the way, I feel this work takes on even deeper meaning. I hope to have the same impact on my granddaughters as my mother had on me, to help them believe there are no limits to what women could do, lead, or become. I'm honored, I'm grateful, and I'm more committed than ever. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage, Ryan. Please welcome to the stage, Ryan McGrath.
Donna, congratulations. I'm actually also from Brooklyn, and I think I remember your mother. So once again, yeah, my name is Ryan McGrath. I'm the head of JP Morgan's private bank here in Connecticut. So fun fact for any of you science and history buffs out there, this week in 1884 was actually the International Meridian Conference. Stay with me, it's a real thing. The International Meridian Conference. They adopted the town of Greenwich, England, as the point on the globe where an imaginary line would divide the world into eastern and western hemispheres. And that line, that imaginary line, sits at, correct, 0 degrees longitude and became known as the Greenwich Meridian. So it's only fitting that we're here today in Greenwich, Connecticut, celebrating the amazing women who have also redefined our world. JP Morgan Chase is a proud supporter of the Women's Business Development Council, having been there from the start when Fran opened the organization's first bank account at our Prospect Street branch in Stamford with a deposit of $60. Since 2021, JP Morgan Chase has provided nearly $1 million to make it possible for the WBDC to invest in women-owned small businesses across Connecticut through its incredible education, training, and small business programs. And today, we're here to celebrate a number of those small business owners, but also to celebrate a truly exceptional leader from JP Morgan, Kristen Kalergis Rowland, known simply to her family, friends, and colleagues as KK. Unfortunately, KK could not be with us here today because of a family commitment, but I'm nevertheless honored to present her with this award and accept it on her behalf. Today, KK receives the WBDC Impact Award for her trailblazing career in global finance. As the global head of alternative investments at JP Morgan Private Bank, KK inspires women in finance in both hemispheres to lead with vision and courage. She exemplifies the WBDC's mission of advancing economic equality and prosperity for women through her dedication to mentorship, community service, and empowering the next generation of leaders. I've also never met anyone who can cover so much information in a short period of time with such enthusiasm. KK is also a dedicated mom to 2 kiddos, Rex and Pippa, and is raising her family in Riverside along with her husband, who is also a small business owner. KK is a former Division I golfer, obsessed with La Penguin in town, and has the most prolific pop culture memory of anyone I've ever met at JP Morgan. Although I was hoping to stump her with the Meridian Conference today. So I'm honored and entertained to work alongside her and see firsthand how her leadership, vision, and commitment to empowering women are reshaping our firm and our communities. So thank you to the WBDC for honoring KK with this award. And if you will, please watch this short video from KK, who wanted to share her own appreciation for the recognition.
Hi all, I'm truly honored to be receiving this 2025 Impact Award for the Women's Business Development Council of Connecticut. My husband and I decided to start our family here several years ago, and in becoming residents, we just know the importance of what small businesses are to our community. Supporting women entrepreneurs is not just about economic growth. It's about creating opportunity and stability and inspiration for the next generation of leaders. And it's why the mission of what the WBDC is doing that means so much to me. Having been at JP Morgan for now 17 years, my entire career, I know how important it is partnering with women, whether they've been my colleagues or my clients or people in communities, and what it means to be leading with purpose and building that community of people that lead with purpose. The drive and the resilience remind me daily of why organizations like the WBDC need to be around. So thank you to the entire WBDC team for the work that you do to empower women across Connecticut, and thank you so much for this incredible honor.
And now, stories from our final 2 Women Rising Award recipients.
At Sunshine Daycare Center, we are a home away from home. We provide a loving, nurturing, fun, educational environment for our children. This is not just a job, it is a passion. Working with WBDC has been a very rewarding experience. They provided me with an expansion grant to expand from Little Sunshine Home Daycare to Sunshine Daycare Center. Going from family child care to the center realm was a bit intimidating, but with the guidance I received from WBDC, it made a world of difference. My advice to women starting out on their entrepreneurial journey would be do your homework. Sometimes it might seem a little disappointing, but having the right people in place, gathering all the knowledge you'll need, it definitely makes a difference.
Blue Line Traffic offers traffic flagging services to road construction and security services around the state of Connecticut. Starting Blue Line Traffic was absolutely my first entrepreneurial experience, and I needed advice from people who had been there and done it before. And the Women's Business Development Council was that mentor for me. I was originally referred to the Women's Business Development Council by another female business owner. And once I was immediately matched with the right advisor, we began a personalized journey together to the point where I was able to screen share my QuickBook experiences so she could give me advice that really matched the needs of my business and the industry that I'm in. One of the things I'm most proud of about my involvement with Women's Business Development Council is being a part of a greater network of women entrepreneurs who have put everything on the line to make a difference for their family and for themselves. And on the toughest days, propels me forward to keep doing what I'm doing.
Please welcome to the stage, David Patrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, it's a true honor to be presenting this year's Women's Business Development Council Impact Award. An exceptional leader, Gina Criscuolo, Chief Financial Officer of Downs Construction. Gina is a trailblazer in an industry where women are too rare. She leads with strength, vision, and purpose, proving that excellence, empathy can coexist at the highest levels of leadership. Her work embodies WBDC's mission to advance economic equity and empower others to achieve their full potential. When Gina joined Downs 5 years ago, it was meant to be a part-time job, just to help guide us through our transition to an employee stock ownership plan. But as anyone knows who knows Gina will tell you, she doesn't do temporary. She quickly became an indispensable part of our management team, transforming how we operate and strengthen our company for the future. Gina, your leadership, mentorship, and unwavering dedication inspire everyone around you, and this award is a reflection of that impact. Please join me in congratulating my colleague and friend, Gina Criscuolo, on this well-deserved honor.
Thank you, Dave, for that very generous introduction, and thank you to the Women's Business Development Council for this incredible honor. I am truly humbled to be here today to be considered amongst these impressive co-honorees. I also would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to my supporters, Downs Construction, Mahoney Sable, Business Lifelines, Accordant, the Wall Group, Magnolia Agency, Kaiser Whitney Staffing, AeroSwiss, and my friends from St. Thomas's Day School, Assured Partners, CBiz, the American Heart Association, and the Carpenters Union. Thank you all for coming. When Fran first asked me if I would accept the nomination for this award, my immediate reaction was no. Why? Because I didn't think I fit the mold. I'm an accountant, I work in construction, I'm not exactly an entrepreneur. But when Fran suggested that there might be some women in the room who needed to hear my stories, everything changed. Because if I'm being recognized for something today, it's perseverance. It's in my DNA. So to anyone out there who might be thinking about quitting, don't. Listen to my story. When I entered the construction industry 15 years ago, women in leadership roles were few and far between. I had come from public accounting and private industry, but construction, that was a whole different ballgame. It was male-dominated, family-run businesses, where no matter what position I held, I was often still referred to as the girl in accounting. Over the years, I faced layoffs from corporate restructuring to COVID, and I certainly had my moments of doubt, but through it all, I refused to quit. I never had a formal mentor, unless you count my mother, whose best advice cannot be repeated in public. She has a way with words, and they are always so helpful. I had to figure things out on my own. So when the opportunity at Downs Construction came along, I was cautious. I knew what I wanted. A company that truly respected women. I wasn't willing to settle anymore. And then I met Dave Patrick and Joe Desatel, the former owner of Downs. Dave and Joe told me about Downs' mission, bringing people together to build the places that build community. They shared with me their values and their why, and it resonated deeply. Employee-owned, community-invested. It was more than just their tagline. It was the culture I had been looking for all along. I joined the Downs team, not to build a building, but to rebuild the accounting department. And with the help of a team of extraordinary individuals, we did just that. Now, to all of you ladies out there who might be struggling, here's my advice. No matter what cards you're dealt, play the hand out. Don't fold and don't give in. I've had more than a few opportunities to walk away, to give up, to go back to selling perfume at a department store, but I didn't. I persevered. And if you really want something, you can persevere too. In closing, I would like to thank Fran, Gilda, and my colleagues Nicole DeMeo, Dave Patrick, our president, and Tom Romanoli, our executive vice president, for being here today. Your support means so much to me. Finally, to my husband Lou, thank you for being my partner in every sense of the word. You supported me unconditionally, whether I chose to stay at home or return to work, and that support and partnership gave me the freedom to pursue my goals and still be the mom I wanted to be. Which brings me to my sons, Louis and Nicholas. Listen to your mother. Your journey will not be my journey. My journey is not your journey. You can be whatever it is you want to be, but be the best at it. And if perchance you should face some struggles, never give up. Thank you again.
Please welcome to the stage U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal.
What a wonderful event. What a great group. Listen to your mother. That's what I tell my 4 children all the time. Better listening to your mother than your dad a lot of the time. But as a dad, I'm very privileged to tell you that since I was here last year, and for the first time of any of the times I've been here, I'm now a grandparent. Thank you for the applause, but I really had very little to do with it. A granddaughter who I hope will take as her role model some of the great women who are in this room, some of the wonderful people whom we have honored today, and maybe most important, Fran Pastor. Thank you, Fran, for serving as a role model for so many women throughout the state of Connecticut, and I hope for my granddaughter, who is only 10 weeks old, but she has already taken command. I want to say thank you to all of you for really coming together and expressing as a community the strong support that you have for not just women entrepreneurs, but also for the idea of service, public service, honoring Morema Gutierrez, the Deputy Director of the Small Business Administration. And I think that the Women's Business Development Council would agree that the SBA has played a vital role in the success of so many entrepreneurs in the state of Connecticut and all around the country. And of course, in providing aid and assistance when disaster has struck, natural disasters like floods and hurricanes and earthquakes, it puts those business people back on their feet. And I make this point only because at this moment in our history, there is a school of thought prevalent in the place where I spend 5 days a week, Washington, D.C., that public service no longer matters, that the government's role ought to be curtailed and even eliminated. And I think that we celebrate too little, too rarely, the great partnerships that can exist between entrepreneurs, business people, and public servants in the SBA and other places where they do a great deal of good for the country every day. And unfortunately, at this moment, a lot of them are not being paid. We probably would be doing a lot better in Washington, D.C. if we had more women in the Congress and in the United States Senate. But I want to thank the women who are here today and the few good men who are joining and honoring them. I'm really proud again to be here and to recognize the enormous contributions of the Women's Business Development Council. I am so proud to have been an observer and a fan and cheerleader over these years. Fran, congratulations on another great year. I look forward to many, many more. Thank you all.
Now, please turn your attention to the video screens for a brief message from U.S. Congressman Jim Himes.
Hey everyone, it's Jim Himes, and I'm so sorry I can't be with you tonight to celebrate WBDC at this gala. Unfortunately, duties in DC keep me right here, but I do want to say a big, big, big thank you to WBDC, to Fran Pastor, to the staff, and to the board for the wonderful, wonderful work you do. You know, I've visited an awful lot of the businesses that you have helped start, that you've mentored, that you've helped finance, and it's everything from jewelry stores to childcare to healthcare services. Anyway, just amazing how much those businesses are helping our communities, and maybe most importantly, helping the entrepreneurs who are starting those businesses, many of whom wouldn't succeed without your absolutely amazing work. Keep it up.
Here to present our final Impact Award, please welcome Leander Dolphin.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. And congratulations again to Fran and to the WBDC and the whole team. It's really an honor and a privilege to present this year's WBDC Impact Award to Natalie Madeira Cofield, Chief Executive Officer and President of the Association of Enterprise Opportunity. Natalie's career has been defined by a deep commitment to economic improvement, empowerment, and equity. Her visionary leadership has opened doors for thousands of women entrepreneurs across the country. During her tenure at the U.S. Small Business Administration, she oversaw the largest expansion in the history of the Women's Business Center Network, an achievement that continues to strengthen organizations like the WBDC and the communities that we serve. Today, through her leadership at AEO and as the founder of Walker's Legacy, Natalie continues to champion micro businesses and underserved entrepreneurs, ensuring that opportunity reaches those who need it most. Her work has inspired countless women to pursue their dreams and to build a legacy of their own. As a fellow alumna of Howard University, go Bison, I am deeply honored to celebrate her impact and example, which reflect the very best of service, leadership, and sisterhood. Please join me in congratulating Natalie Madeira Cofield, recipient of the 2025 WBDC Impact Award.
So Fran reminded me that I may be your last speaker. So first and foremost, good afternoon to everyone and greetings from Washington, D.C. I'm deeply honored to accept this Impact Award from the Women's Business Development Council To be recognized among such extraordinary leaders is both humbling and inspiring. First, I want to thank Fran and the entire WBDC team for your fearless work to expand opportunities for women across industry. Your commitment ensures that women are not only present in the room, but leading it. I also want to recognize my fellow honorees. To be celebrated alongside each of you is a privilege. This award is not about me. It's about the countless entrepreneurs and small business owners that I've had the honor to serve. Through my work at the Association for Enterprise Opportunity, I have seen the extraordinary power of entrepreneurship and its role in transforming lives, families, and communities. And while we have made remarkable progress, we know there is still work to do to open more doors, to expand more opportunities, and to ensure that every entrepreneur with a vision has a chance to succeed. This afternoon, as we celebrate, I want to make sure that we look ahead. The future of business is reshaped every day by technology, by innovation, and by the boldness of women who refuse to wait their turn. It is up to us to ensure that women are not only prepared for the future, but are the architects of it. So my message is simple. When we invest in women, we invest in stronger families, stronger communities, and a stronger economy. And when women rise, we all rise. Thank you for this honor, and thank you for continuing to build a world where women's leadership is the exception, is not the exception, but is the expectation. Thank you.
Congratulations to all those amazing honorees. And now it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage for our grand finale this year's Women Rising awardees. Let's give them a round of applause. Let's bring them up on stage. Congratulations. What an amazing group of entrepreneurs. All right, while they're still on stage and before we conclude, I'm going to announce the winners of our call to action drawing. So listen for your name. The winner of the Bose headphones is Colleen Roney, and the winner of the Aura digital frame is Carol Mathis. All right, congratulations. You can get those prizes on the way out the door. And as for the raffle, please see the slide to see if you're a lucky winner. They're also going to be posted on the boards by the raffle tables where you can collect your prizes. So on behalf of WBDC and our amazing women entrepreneurs, thank you so much for being here today. We're going to see you for the next 28 years of serving women entrepreneurs. We look forward to seeing you next year. And remember to invest in women entrepreneurs, and remember to get out and vote. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.
This concludes today's program. Thank you and enjoy your afternoon.